Hey, so I'm gonna read your tarot cards today, and it's gonna be a pick a card. We're gonna do 5 right out here, and you're gonna pick the one you want. I'm gonna give you the advice you need to hear right now. Sound alright? Let's do it. Do I treat my tarot cards like playing cards? Absolutely. I mean, that's what they started out as. Just gonna shuffle these nice and good. We're gonna go ahead and pick 5 cards and lay them out. You can choose them. I'm gonna put 3 cards with each pile. And of course, you don't have to take the advice from the cards. You're an independent person. You get to make your own decisions. You get to live your own life. But sometimes it's nice having some outside insight. I don't care if you can see the cards on the bottom. I'm gonna mix them up good enough. Yeah, this is my travel deck of tarot cards, so I treat them a little rougher than I would, but I think that's totally fine. They can handle it. Hope you like my ambiance. Candles just make everything better. Okay, now I hope you're thinking about the thing that it is that you want advice on. So go ahead and think about that right now. What do you need advice on? Well, one card just popped out for us, so we're just gonna place that one down because that's clearly gonna be number 1. Let's go ahead and pick number 2. There's number 2. Okay. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Ooh. This one feels like it wants to go with it too. So we got these piles. I'm going to give 2 more cards for each of them. This one's wanting to go here. That one's wanting to go there. Okay. I've got 3 cards for each deck. Okay. So, which deck are you gonna choose? I'm gonna choose number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5. I mean, you just gotta trust your gut. It really is up to you. Just go with the first number that comes to your mind. Or maybe you're drawn to a specific one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should we get started? let's start with number 1. I'm going to just set these aside. Closer to you. Don't. Alright, so we got number 1 here. Let's see what we got. Whoa, okay. What advice are they saying? You've got all court cups. King of Pentacles. Page of Cups. And Knight of Swords. Here, I'll turn them around so you can take a look at them. So, what advice are these 3 trying to tell you? I mean, what these cards are telling me is you have connections in more places than you think. You have someone in just about kind of every different part of life. And I think you should ask each of them their opinion. And this will give you the insight that you're looking for. So that's the card's advice to you. Ask a bunch of different people, even people you wouldn't normally ask for advice. Ask them what their thoughts are on your current situation. I think they might be able to give you some more details on how to possibly solve your problem. That's what I'm seeing for number 1. So it's a pretty good one. Who would have thunk that? Page of Cups, Knight of Swords, King of Pentacles. I mean, such a broad variety. I would ask young and old, experienced, inexperienced, people who, even if you're only amongst people who are your same age group, perhaps you have some folks that are studying, you know, the harder sciences, or you have some folks studying business, or you have some folks studying the liberal arts or the fine arts. Ask them in each single area what they would do in your situation, and you can piece together something that would work for you. So that's what I would say for number 1. Shall I move on to number 2? Number 2, let's see what you got. Okay, I've got the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Cups. Oh. You know, what I'm seeing with these tarot cards, I'm seeing kindness and friendship, you know, preparation for a party, best friend, you know, taking pride in the results of one's efforts. So this one, I would say, for your advice, it would be trust yourself. Trust the connections you have right now. You'll make the right choice. It just is going to take some time. Lean hard on your friends and your family and those who love you. Take it slow though. As long as you have friends to back you up, you'll be okay. You'll come out all right. So lean on your friends. Have fun. Have fun. Take a break. If you're stressed out about this situation that you need advice for, step away from it for a moment and go out and do something social. I think that's what I'm seeing from these cards. Yeah. You can only carry so many burdens at once before you need to take a break. Step away. And go have some fun. It'll make whatever problem you have a little bit easier to come back to and think about with a clear head. And then once you do solve your problem, make sure you celebrate and thank those who did help you. I think that's pretty good for number 2. Time to see what number 3 has, I think. Alright. Number 3, what kind of advice do you need to hear? Let's see here. We've got 6 of Swords, 5 of Swords, and Ace of Swords. Wow. You have got a lot on your mind. You're worried. And you may have said some things you don't necessarily mean or wish you could take back or you're embarrassed by, but I mean, what's said is already said. But you're going to use your intellect to get out of this. And maybe you may be saying, oh, I'm not that smart, but you're a human being. You're at the end of a lineage of people who've outsmarted their environment and other enemies for millennia. You've got brains. Even if it may not seem book smart, you know how to handle the situation. So even if you are feeling stressed, know that you've got this. You've handled bad before, and you'll handle worse in the future. But you know what? It's going to be okay because you're a survivor. Your past ancestors, your past lineage were survivors, and you're going to be okay. And you're going to turn this into good opportunities. That's what that Ace of Swords is telling me. So use that brain that may have gotten you into trouble. Use that same brain to get you out of it. Or, even if you're in trouble, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you have to get out of it. It could just be a learning opportunity. So if you need advice, use the situation you're in as a learning opportunity. So either you know how to solve this problem again in the future, or you know how to avoid it in the future. You got this. You're going to be okay. That one was a really interesting one too. Just getting all swords like that. Swords are, well, they're an interesting suit of cards, that's for sure. I think it's time we move on to number 4. So let's see what number 4 has. Okay, we got 10 of Cups. We've got the High Priestess. And we've got Death. Wow, our first major arcanas, and we got 2 really powerful ones of High Priestess and Death. Of course, the 10 of Cups is fantastic. Just utter bliss, absolute happiness. And so with these, and I mean, if you're not familiar with tarot, I know some folks get scared by the Death card, but death isn't what you think of it when you think right away. It can mean a lot of different things of, you know, new changes coming, the end of something. But when there's an end, there's a beginning of something else. It doesn't necessarily have to mean physical death on this earth. It can mean ego death, which is a good thing. You know, there can be a death of an old self, of bad habits. It's, if anything, you can look at death as a tool. It can be good, it can be bad, but it's all in how you use it, and it's also inevitable. So, the High Priestess, she's a keeper of secrets. She trusts her intuition. So, there's a lot of power here. 10 of Cups. I think with this one, the advice is you're going to have to accept that you're going through hard times right now. But you're going to come out okay. You're going to be just fine. And the way you're going to be fine is you're going to just trust yourself. Trust yourself to know what's best for you and what's best for your situation. Even if it feels like you don't know what you're doing, trust yourself. And even if you have to fake it till you make it, that's what's got to be done. We're going to feel uncomfortable, and we're going to feel like this is totally new territory we've never gone through before, but you're going to be okay. You'll have it. Wow. That's pretty intense for number 4, but I think this is probably the best ones I've gotten so far. These are 3 good cards to get together. It's gonna be all right. So, I mean, that was a pretty high note, but I think it's time we move on to deck number 5. So, number 5, let's see what cards you have. More major arcana. The Devil, which of course again does not mean the devil in terms of a actual being. The devil can represent a lot of different stuff, such as bad habits. You know, you see the lovers from the Lover's card chained, but they could easily escape. What's holding them back? It's their own bad habits, their own egos, their own flaws that they could get out of, but maybe they're not. The devil can also just represent fun and letting loose and taking a break from responsibilities. Again, none of these cards are necessarily good or evil. They're tools, and it's what you make of it. So, but onto the other cards. We also have the World. Wow, the Devil and the World together, like amazing. And we also have 3 of Pentacles. So, what advice do these cards have for you? You know, I would say with this one, it's you can have good results, but like I said with habits, you might be a bit of a procrastinator, aren't you? That's what I'm getting. I'm seeing with work. It's holding you back from having your whole world. If you can break your chains, your bad habits, your flaws, it's you keeping yourself back. And you can set your mind to your goals and work hard. You can achieve the literal world, metaphorical world, I should say. Literal, metaphorical world. So, take an honest look at yourself. Take an honest look at your environment. And obviously, if you have an environment that's very difficult to escape, if you're in poverty or you're stuck with obligation, what minuscule things can you do to make your life better? What can you actively change? Even if it's just showing up and maybe you're wearing slightly different clothes that make you feel more powerful and more professional, or just clothing that empowers you. I find clothing can be a huge change on the way I interact with the world. So it could even be just you make a set time to study every night or to work on your personal projects every night. And you give yourself a specific time from 6:30 to 7:15. I am going to work. No ifs or buts. I'm going to do it. I'm going to work for those 45 minutes or an hour and a half. Whatever will work for you. But be realistic. Be realistic. We are a part of the material plane after all. So don't be going and being like, I'm going to study tomorrow for 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours. That's not realistic, nor is it a good way of retaining information. It doesn't even have to be studying. It could just be, relationship-wise. If you're trying to, if you're looking for advice for a relationship, this life is not like The Sims. You can't just flirt, kiss, kiss, make out, get engaged in one day. No, you have to set up the steps and set the definite time. Maybe you're not the best texter. You're slow to text, or you aren't very creative with your texting. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. That's it. That's all it takes. So that's the advice I would give for this. So, very interesting cards all around, I would say. All different kinds of advice that we got from the cards. I appreciate you taking the time to sit with me and let me attempt to read your tarot cards. No, we're going to do positive self-talk here, not attempt. I did read your tarot cards. So, in the next few weeks, let me know if you took any of this advice and used it. I'd be curious to hear how it worked out for you.